Mira looked down at the human city from the sky. Her spaceship hovered quietly above the settlement. The sun reflected on the tall glass buildings, and the streets were filled with humans moving in perfect harmony. Mira had never seen anything like it. On her planet, cities were efficient, but they lacked warmth. Here, humans seemed alive in a way she had never experienced. She adjusted the straps of her uniform and took a deep breath. Today was her first day as a maid in a human research colony. Her task was unusual. Unlike other alien maids who served food or cleaned homes, Mira had been sent here to learn about human life. Specifically, she was curious about human reproduction and childcare. Mira wanted to understand it fully so she could share the knowledge with her people. Her spaceship landed softly in a small garden outside a large building. Birds were singing, and a gentle wind moved the flowers. Mira stepped out and felt the warm air on her skin. It was different from her planet's atmosphere, but it felt comforting. She took out a small device from her pocket and scanned the area for any dangers. Nothing appeared. Mira smiled slightly. Humans seemed friendly and peaceful as she entered the building. Mira was greeted by a human named Nico. He was tall and wore a simple white lab coat. His hair was dark, and his eyes were bright with curiosity. "Welcome, Mira," Nico said. "We are glad to have you here. I will be your guide as you learn about human life." Mira bowed slightly, a gesture of respect in her culture. "Thank you, Nico. I am honored to learn from your species," Nico smiled. "I must warn you, Mira, human life can be complicated, but I think you will enjoy it. You seem curious and patient, two qualities that will help you a lot." Mira followed Nico through the building. The walls were lined with images of human families. Children playing, parents holding their babies, and elders teaching lessons. Mira paused to look at each picture. She noticed the love and care in every face. Her sensors recorded data, but she also felt a strange warmth in her chest. She did not fully understand the emotion, but she knew it was important. Nico led Mira to a large room filled with tools, charts, and models. Some models were of human anatomy, while others showed the stages of human development from infancy to adulthood. "This is where you will start your studies," Nico explained. "We will show you how humans grow and how they care for their young. Everything here is for observation and learning. Nothing will be harmful." Mira nodded. She had read about human biology in books, but seeing it in real life was different. The models were detailed. She could see the tiny bones, the muscles, and even how the heart worked. Her sensors measured everything, storing the information for later. Over the next few hours, Nico showed Mira how humans cared for infants. He explained how parents feed babies, how they comfort them when they cry, and how they teach them to walk and speak. Mira watched carefully. Humans used their hands with precision and gentle touch. They spoke softly, and their faces were full of emotion. Mira realized that human care was not just about survival. It was about connection and trust. During a break, Mira walked into the garden outside the building. A small human child was playing with a ball nearby. The child laughed and ran after the ball. Mira crouched down to observe. The child noticed her and waved. Mira waved back, careful not to scare him. Nico followed her. "You see, Mira, humans learn not only from books, but from interaction. Children absorb everything around them. They learn from play, from observation, and from guidance. That is why human reproduction is not only about biology, it is also about culture, care, and teaching." Mira's mind processed this carefully. On her planet, young aliens were taught mostly through data simulations. Interaction was limited. She thought about how much richer human life seemed. She wanted to learn everything about it. That evening, Mira returned to the building. She had already taken thousands of notes and recordings. She felt excitement she had never experienced. Learning human methods was challenging, but she enjoyed it. There was a warmth in the air, a feeling of life that her planet rarely had. Mira wanted to understand this completely. Her first real test came the next day. Nico introduced her to a human family who had just welcomed a newborn. Mira observed from a safe distance as the parents cared for the baby. The mother held the child carefully, feeding it and speaking softly. The father supported her, showing patience and attention. Mira's sensors recorded every movement, every gesture, every sound. She noticed how the parents adjusted their actions based on the baby's needs. If the child cried, they would respond quickly. If the baby smiled or cooed, they would encourage it with gentle words. Mira understood that human care required both knowledge and intuition. Nico watched her carefully. "Do you understand why this is important?" he asked. Mira nodded. "Yes. Human reproduction is not only about creating life, it is about nurturing and ensuring survival through connection and guidance. The emotional aspect is as important as the physical." Nico smiled. "Exactly. And that is why your learning here is valuable. Your people may benefit from understanding the emotional aspect of care as much as the biological aspect." As days passed, Mira practiced simulated tasks. She used dolls and holographic models to learn feeding, soothing, and observing behaviors. Sometimes her alien body reacted differently, which made her laugh quietly. She was not afraid of mistakes. Each error taught her something new. Mira also began asking questions about human emotions. "Why do humans smile at infants?" she asked Nico one afternoon. "It is a way to show care and build connection," Nico explained. Smiles, laughter, and gentle touch all help the child feel safe and loved. It strengthens bonds that are crucial for growth and learning. Mira processed this carefully. On her planet, young ones learned mainly through direct teaching. Emotions were limited. Here she realized emotion was part of the learning process. It was a tool as important as any technology. By the end of the week, Mira felt she had learned a great deal. She understood basic care techniques and had begun to grasp the emotional side of human life. She also felt a strange pride. Her people would benefit greatly from these observations. Human methods, combined with alien efficiency, could create something remarkable. One evening, Mira looked at the city from the garden. The lights glowed softly, and humans moved like rivers of life below. She felt a strong connection to this place. She did not fully understand why, but she knew she belonged here for a reason. Nico joined her quietly. "You are doing well, Mira. Your curiosity and dedication are impressive. I think humans will enjoy learning from you as much as you are learning from them." Mira turned to him. "Thank you, Nico. I hope to honor this opportunity. I want to understand everything so I can help my people and also strengthen the bond between our species." Nico nodded. "That is the spirit of true learning. Observation, understanding, and respect. Keep that in mind and you will do great things here." Mira smiled. She knew the journey ahead would be long and sometimes challenging, but she was ready. Human life was full of surprises, and she wanted to experience every moment as she returned to her quarters. Mira began writing her first detailed report. She described what she had observed about human care, the emotional interactions, and the lessons she had learned. Her words reflected not only facts, but also her growing admiration for humans. She realized that understanding a species was more than just studying them. It required empathy, patience, and an open heart, and Mira had all three. The first week in the human colony had passed, but it felt like only the beginning. Mira knew that many lessons awaited her. The humans were teaching her not only about reproduction and care, but about life itself. Mira's heart, if it could be called that, felt full. She was eager, ready, and curious for everything that would come next. Mira woke up early the next morning. The soft light of the human sun filtered through her quarters, painting the room in warm colors. She stretched her limbs, feeling a little excitement in her alien body. Today was the first day she would practice human caregiving more directly, using simulations and holographic models. Mira was eager to learn. She stepped out of her quarters and walked toward the training hall. The hall was large, with smooth walls and floors that reflected light softly. Holographic projectors lined the room, showing floating images of human infants in different stages of growth. Dolls of various sizes and designs were placed neatly on tables. Some had soft skin, some had flexible joints, and some even had small devices that simulated breathing and heartbeats. Nico was already there, arranging the models. He looked up and smiled when he saw Mira. "Good morning, Mira. Are you ready for your first hands-on practice?" Mira nodded. "Yes, Nico. I want to learn as much as possible today." "Good," Nico said. "Remember, the goal is observation and understanding. We will start with basic care tasks: feeding, holding, and observing reactions." Mira approached a small holographic infant that floated in the air. The child looked real, with tiny hands, bright eyes, and soft movements. Mira reached out carefully, letting her fingers hover above the hologram before touching it. The hologram responded, making soft cooing sounds. Mira recorded the data in her mind. Nico watched closely. The first step is holding the infant correctly. Notice how humans support the head and neck. This is important because the muscles are not fully developed yet. Mira adjusted her arms carefully. Her movements were precise but cautious. She felt a strange connection to the hologram. Although it was not real, it seemed to respond to her touch. The soft cooing made her sensors register subtle patterns of happiness and comfort. Mira realized that humans relied on both physical and emotional signals when caring for infants. After a few attempts, Mira held the holographic infant correctly. Nico clapped. "Excellent, Mira. You are fast to learn. Next, we will try feeding." A small bottle appeared in the air, filled with simulated nutrition. Mira observed carefully. She tilted the holographic infant slightly, mimicking how human parents feed their babies. The infant responded positively, cooing and moving its tiny hands. Mira smiled softly. "She had done it correctly. You are improving quickly," Nico said. "Notice the way you adjust your movements based on the infant's reactions. That is very important in human caregiving. Humans are constantly observing, learning, and responding." Mira nodded. She recorded every detail. Her alien mind processed patterns of touch, movement, sound, and expression. She realized that caring for humans required more than precision. It required awareness, empathy, and attention to subtle signals. The next exercise involved soothing. A holographic infant began to cry. Mira paused for a moment, unsure what to do. Nico guided her. "Try speaking softly. Use gentle movements, and observe how the infant responds. Crying is a way of communication, not a problem." Mira adjusted her posture and spoke softly. "It is okay. I am here. You are safe." The holographic infant's cries slowed and stopped. Mira observed the small smiles and relaxed movements. She understood how important reassurance and gentle interaction were, as Mira practiced. Other aliens in the colony entered the hall. They were curious about her work. Some whispered among themselves, unsure why Mira was spending so much time with human simulations. Mira noticed their glances, but did not feel uncomfortable. She focused on her task. Nico smiled. "Do not worry about them. They do not understand yet. Your curiosity and dedication are what matter. You are learning something valuable." Later, Mira moved to a new set of models. These were advanced simulations of human development from infancy to toddler age. She watched as the holographic children learned to walk, speak, and interact. Mira noted how much guidance humans provided. Parents encouraged, corrected, and praised at every step. She realized that human development was not automatic. It required careful attention and patience. During one exercise, a holographic toddler refused to walk. Mira gently encouraged it, showing patience and positive reinforcement. The toddler eventually took a few steps, smiling brightly. Mira recorded the response. She felt a sense of pride. She understood the joy humans experienced when helping a child succeed. Nico approached her. "You are doing very well. Notice how human caregivers balance guidance and freedom. Too much pressure can create fear. Too little can create confusion. The right balance requires observation and adaptation." Mira considered this carefully. On her planet, young aliens were guided with strict rules and data-driven instruction. Mistakes were rare, but emotions were limited. Humans, however, used emotion as a tool for learning. Mira began to understand that this was a form of strength, not weakness. The day passed quickly. Mira continued practicing with feeding, holding, soothing, and guiding holographic children. Each exercise improved her skills and deepened her understanding. By evening, she felt tired but accomplished. She had learned more in one day than she expected as she left the training hall. Mira noticed a human child playing in the garden outside. The child waved at her, and Mira waved back. She smiled. She was beginning to feel a connection to humans beyond observation. Nico joined her. "You are progressing faster than I expected," he said. "Your attention to detail and your patience are remarkable. You are not only learning the methods, but also the values behind them." Mira tilted her head slightly. "Values?" she asked. "Yes," Nico said. "Humans do not only reproduce to create life, they raise children with care, love, and attention. They teach kindness, curiosity, and understanding. That is why your work here is important. You are learning the full human method, not just the biology." Mira nodded. She understood. Her people could benefit greatly from these lessons. Not only would they learn new ways to nurture life, but they could also understand the importance of emotional bonds and trust. That night, Mira returned to her quarters and reviewed her recordings. She replayed the movements, gestures, and sounds of the day. Her mind analyzed patterns of human interaction. She made notes on how humans encouraged infants, how they responded to distress, how they celebrated small achievements. Mira realized that humans had a unique strength. Their ability to combine physical care with emotional awareness created a system that was efficient and compassionate. Mira felt admiration for the humans. She began to understand why her mentors emphasized respect and observation. The next morning, Mira faced a new challenge. Nico introduced a more advanced simulation. This holographic infant could react unpredictably. It could refuse to eat, cry without clear reason, or move in ways that required immediate adjustment. Mira observed carefully, ready to respond. At first, the simulation was difficult. The infant's movements were fast, and its cries were louder than usual. Mira felt a moment of uncertainty. But she remembered Nico's instructions. She breathed deeply and focused. She spoke softly, adjusted her movements, and observed the infant's reactions. Slowly, she gained control. The infant calmed, smiled, and responded positively. Nico clapped. "Excellent work, Mira. You adapted quickly. This is exactly what human caregivers do every day. Flexibility and awareness are just as important as knowledge." Mira felt a warm satisfaction. She had learned a valuable lesson. Observation alone was not enough. Understanding required adaptation, empathy, and patience. As the day ended, Mira sat in the garden to rest. She watched humans pass by, interacting with one another, laughing and helping each other. She realized that human reproduction and childcare were connected to the larger fabric of life. Humans raised children not only to survive, but to create a society based on care, trust, and understanding. Mira smiled softly. She had come to learn human methods, but she was learning something deeper as well. She was beginning to understand the essence of human life. Her first hands-on day had been challenging, but it had been worth it. Mira knew that many lessons still awaited her. She felt eager and ready. She wanted to observe, practice, and learn everything humans could teach about care, connection, and life itself. For the first time, Mira realized that learning was not only about knowledge, it was also about understanding, connection, and respect. Humans had taught her that, and she was ready to continue the journey. The sun rose slowly over the human colony, casting warm light across the streets and buildings. Mira stepped out of her quarters, her mind buzzing with thoughts. The past few days had been full of learning and observation, but today promised to be different. Nico had mentioned that she would meet other aliens, who were curious and sometimes skeptical about her work. As she walked through the garden, Mira noticed several aliens gathered near the entrance to the training hall. They were whispering among themselves and occasionally glancing at her. Mira's sensors recorded tension in the group. Some seemed disapproving, while others were curious. She understood immediately that not everyone agreed with her mission. Mira approached slowly. "Good morning," she said politely. One of the aliens, a tall figure named Zyron, stepped forward. "Mira, why are you spending so much time learning human caregiving? This is unusual for a maid." "It is not our usual task," Zyron said. His voice was calm, but carried a hint of challenge. Mira bowed slightly. "I am here to learn, Zyron. My people may benefit from understanding human methods. My work is for knowledge and for cooperation between our species." Zyron frowned. "Some think this is private human life. We do not usually study them so closely. Are you certain this is necessary?" Myra's sensors detected curiosity and a small spark of disapproval in Zyron. She answered calmly, "Yes, I understand human life is private, but I am working with their consent. I am learning their methods to improve caregiving and understanding. There is nothing disrespectful in my work." Zyron looked at her silently for a moment, then nodded slowly. Mira realized that she needed to prove the value of her work, not just explain it. She felt a determination rise within her. Today would test not only her knowledge, but her ability to handle challenges. Nico appeared and greeted the group. "Good morning, everyone. Mira has made significant progress. Today, she will continue her training with more advanced simulations. You are welcome to observe, but remember that her work is important and must be respected," aliens murmured. Some still skeptical, but they stepped back to watch. Mira entered the training hall. Her mind focused on the tasks ahead. The first simulation was a holographic infant that could react unpredictably. It could cry, move, or refuse to follow instructions. Mira studied the infant carefully. She remembered Nico's advice: observe, adapt, respond with patience. As the simulation began, the infant started crying loudly. Myra approached and spoke softly. "It is okay. I am here. You are safe." The infant continued to cry, moving its tiny arms and legs. Mira adjusted her posture, tilting her holographic arms to support it better. The infant calmed slightly, but then rolled forward unexpectedly. Mira reacted quickly, catching the hologram just in time. She felt a rush of relief. The other aliens gasped quietly, impressed by her reflexes. Myra noted every movement, every reaction. Recording them for later analysis, Zyron stepped forward, curiosity replacing some skepticism. "Interesting. You handle unpredictability well. I did not expect such precision combined with calmness." Mira bowed slightly. "Thank you. Observing and adapting are key in human caregiving." The next exercise involved feeding the holographic infant while it resisted. The simulation was designed to challenge her problem-solving and patience. Myra remembered how human parents encouraged infants gently, without force. She spoke softly, adjusted the feeding position, and waited for the infant to respond. Slowly, the holographic infant began to cooperate, accepting the simulated nourishment. Nico watched closely. "Excellent, Myra. You are learning more than technique. You are understanding the principles behind human care. Patience, observation, and empathy are as important as physical skill." Mira felt satisfaction. Each simulation taught her not only methods, but also values. She understood why humans emphasized care and attention. Raising a child required more than knowledge, it required heart. After a short break, Mira moved to a new set of simulations. These were more complex, including multiple holographic children interacting with each other. Mira observed how they communicated, shared, and reacted to challenges. She realized that human care was not only about individuals, but about community. Children learned not only from adults, but from each other. While Mira focused on the simulations, an unexpected incident occurred. One holographic child moved outside the designated area, triggering an alert. Mira rushed to adjust it, but her alien sensors malfunctioned slightly due to the rapid movements. The hologram flickered and collapsed briefly, causing a small system warning. The other aliens gasped. Zyron looked concerned. "What happened? Did you break it?" Mira quickly reassured them. "No, Zyron. The simulation is designed to test reactions. The child moved unexpectedly and I adjusted. Everything is fine. This teaches me how humans respond to emergencies. Nico stepped in. Mira handled the situation perfectly. Unpredictability is part of life. Humans adapt constantly. This exercise shows her ability to manage stress, respond quickly, and maintain safety. The aliens murmured again, some nodding in approval. Myra felt a sense of pride. She had faced a challenge, and she had succeeded. The rest of the day continued with advanced simulations. Mira practiced soothing multiple infants at once, guiding toddlers to walk, and observing interactions between children. Each task tested her patience, adaptability, and observation skills. She made careful notes, recording emotional responses as well as physical actions. During a quiet moment, Mira observed the human staff interacting with real children in the garden outside. A human mother helped her child climb a small slide. The child hesitated, then took a small step. The mother encouraged with soft words and a smile. Myra's sensors recorded the child's confidence increase and the mother's emotional expressions. She understood that human development relied on guidance, encouragement, and positive reinforcement. Zyron approached her quietly. "I see now. Your work is not intrusive. You are learning skills that require observation, patience, and respect. It is more than technique. It is understanding life," Myra nodded. "Exactly. Human caregiving is a combination of method, observation, and emotion. My people can learn from this to improve survival and bonding." By evening, Mira felt exhausted but fulfilled. She had faced skepticism, unexpected challenges, and complex simulations. Yet she had learned valuable lessons. Human care was not only precise, but flexible. It required intuition, empathy, and respect. Mira understood that her work was important, not only for her people, but for fostering trust between species. Back in her quarters, Mira reflected on the day. She recorded detailed notes on the challenges she faced and how she adapted. She wrote about the value of patience, observation, and emotional awareness. She also noted her interactions with other aliens, realizing that skepticism could be transformed into understanding through demonstration and persistence. As she prepared for rest, Mira felt a quiet satisfaction. Today had tested her not only as a learner, but as an ambassador of her species. She had faced doubts, managed unpredictable situations, and demonstrated competence and respect. She knew the journey ahead would be long, but she also knew she was capable. Mira looked out the window at the city lights. Humans moved through the streets, interacting, helping, and caring for one another. She realized that the lessons she learned were more than techniques. They were principles of life: respect, patience, empathy, and adaptability. These were the keys to understanding humans. For the first time, Mira felt that she was not just observing humans. She was beginning to see the world through their perspective. The challenges she faced were opportunities to learn, and the misunderstandings she encountered were lessons in communication and trust. Her mind settled on one thought as she closed. Her eyes, knowledge alone was not enough. Understanding required heart, patience, and the willingness to adapt. Mira had learned this today, and she was eager to continue. Tomorrow, new simulations awaited. New challenges would test her skills further, but Mira was ready. She had faced skepticism, managed complex situations, and gained valuable insight. She knew that every day brought new lessons. She was determined to absorb them all. Mira drifted into sleep with a sense of purpose. She had learned that understanding humans required more than observing techniques. It required embracing values, emotions, and the unexpected. She was not just a learner anymore. She was becoming a bridge between species, capable of translating human knowledge into lessons for her people, and that realization filled her with quiet pride. The sun rose over the colony, painting the buildings in shades of gold and pink. Mira stepped into the training hall with a quiet confidence. She had spent many days learning and observing human caregiving. She had faced challenges, misunderstandings, and complex simulations. Now, she was ready to put her knowledge into action and contribute her own insights. Nico greeted her with a warm smile. Good morning, Mira. Today you will begin advanced exercises. These will test not only your understanding, but also your ability to improve existing methods. Mira nodded. I am ready, Nico. I want to learn and share what I have discovered. The first simulation involved multiple holographic infants and toddlers interacting together. Some cried, some resisted guidance, and some sought attention simultaneously. Myra observed carefully. She noticed patterns in their behavior, how each child responded to attention, how they communicated, and how they learned from each other. Mira adjusted her movements and responses. She spoke softly, supported the holographic infants, and encouraged toddlers to interact. Slowly, the simulated children began to calm and cooperate. Mira recorded every detail, analyzing what methods worked best in each situation. Nico watched closely. Excellent, Myra. You are beginning to understand not just individual care, but group dynamics. This is crucial for understanding human development. Myra nodded. She realized that humans were skilled at managing complexity. Raising multiple children at once required observation, adaptation, and emotional awareness. Her alien training focused on precision and logic. But humans combined these with flexibility and intuition. After the simulation, Nico introduced a new challenge. Myra would work with real human children under careful supervision. These children were toddlers, curious and energetic, exploring the garden outside the research building. Myra approached with care, keeping her movements gentle and her voice soft. The children looked at her with curiosity. One little boy reached out his hand. Mira knelt down and smiled. Hello, I am Mira. Would you like to play? The boy nodded and giggled. Mira guided him gently, helping him climb a small play structure. She noticed how the other children watched and began to imitate his movements. Mira encouraged them all, praising small successes and correcting gently when needed. Nico observed quietly. You are doing very well, Mira. You are applying what you learned in simulations to real interactions. Notice how children learn from each other and how your guidance supports them. Mira focused intently. She adjusted her actions based on the children's responses, speaking softly and moving carefully. She recorded their reactions, noting how praise, patience, and gentle guidance influence behavior. By the end of the session, the children were playing happily together, interacting kindly and following instructions. Later, Mira sat with Nico to discuss her observations. I noticed that children respond not only to direct guidance, but also to the atmosphere created around them. Calmness, encouragement, and attention help them feel safe and confident, she said. Nico nodded. Exactly. Human caregiving is more than physical actions. It is about creating a positive environment that fosters growth. Your observations are very valuable. Encouraged, Mira decided to take her learning further. She began experimenting with small improvements to the existing methods. She noticed that some toddlers responded better when tasks were broken into smaller steps. Others needed more encouragement before attempting a new skill. Mira adjusted her approach, carefully recording the results. Over the next few days, Mira's contributions became more noticeable. Human caregivers and researchers observed that her methods helped children learn faster and more confidently. Her alien perspective brought fresh ideas, combining precision with empathy. One morning, Mira presented her findings to Nico and a group of human researchers. I have observed that children respond best when guidance is combined with encouragement and flexibility. Breaking tasks into smaller steps and observing reactions closely improves learning. Emotional support is as important as physical instruction.
Ow.
The humans nodded thoughtfully. Your observations are impressive, Mira. You are seeing patterns we sometimes overlook. This could improve how we teach and care for children, one researcher said. Mira felt a quiet satisfaction. She realized that learning was not only about absorbing information, but also about contributing to improvement. Her role as an observer and learner was evolving into something more, a collaborator, that afternoon. Mira worked with a group of toddlers who were learning to build small structures from blocks. Some children became frustrated when the blocks fell. Mira guided them gently, showing patience and explaining steps clearly. She encouraged them to try again, praising their efforts. The children responded positively. They smiled, laughed, and continued building with renewed confidence. Mira observed carefully, noting how small successes encouraged further learning. She realized that human teaching was not just about instructions. It was about creating confidence and resilience. Zyron, who had been skeptical earlier, approached Mira quietly. "I must admit, Mira, your methods are impressive. You have taken what you learned and added improvements. The humans respect your contributions, and I see why." Mira bowed slightly. "Thank you, Zyron. I only hope my work benefits both humans and my people." Learning is valuable, but sharing knowledge is even more important. As the day ended, Mira walked through the garden, observing the interactions between children and caregivers. She saw parents and teachers using methods she had studied and adapted. She noticed subtle differences in how humans responded to each child, adjusting guidance, encouragement, and attention. Mira understood that caregiving was an art as well as a science. That evening, Mira returned to her quarters and reviewed her notes. She recorded all the new observations and improvements she had made. She reflected on the journey so far, from initial curiosity to practice, facing challenges and now contributing ideas. She realized that her learning was more than technical. It was about understanding life, connection, and cooperation. Mira's thoughts turned to her people. Her mission was to bring knowledge back to them, but she understood that she was also building bridges between species. Humans were teaching her values that went beyond caregiving: patience, empathy, observation, and adaptability. These principles could benefit her people in ways she had never imagined. Over the next week, Mira continued to work with children, both simulated and real. She faced new challenges, such as children with different temperaments or unexpected reactions. Each challenge taught her new lessons. She adapted, observed, and refined her methods. Her confidence grew, as did the respect of humans and aliens alike. One afternoon, Mira was called to a meeting with Nico and senior researchers. They had reviewed her contributions and wanted her to share her methods with other caregivers. Mira felt a mix of excitement and humility. She had never expected to be asked to teach, but she understood the importance of sharing knowledge in the meeting. Mira explained her observations, the improvements she had made, and the reasoning behind each approach. She demonstrated techniques for soothing, guiding, and encouraging children. The humans watched carefully, impressed by her clarity and insight. "You have done something remarkable, Mira," Nico said. "You learned quickly, adapted intelligently, and now you are helping us improve. This is the essence of collaboration and the HFY spirit. Your work shows that humans are not only skilled, but also capable of sharing knowledge across species." Mira felt a quiet pride. She realized that mastery was not just about knowing methods, it was about understanding principles, contributing improvements, and fostering cooperation. She had learned, adapted, and now she was helping others learn as well. That evening, Mira returned to the garden. The children played nearby, laughing and interacting confidently. Mira observed quietly, smiling. She understood that the methods she had learned and refined were making a real difference. Children were learning, caregivers were improving, trust between humans and aliens was growing stronger. Mira thought about the journey so far. She had arrived curious, faced challenges and skepticism, learned complex methods, and now contributed her insights. She realized that learning was a continuous process. Each day brought new lessons, new challenges, and new opportunities to grow. As the stars appeared in the sky, Mira felt a sense of fulfillment. She had not only mastered techniques, but also embraced the values behind them. Patience, empathy, observation, adaptability, and cooperation, these were the true lessons of human life. She understood that her work was part of something larger, building bridges between species, improving caregiving, and sharing knowledge for the benefit of all. Mira knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new simulations, and new opportunities. She was ready. She had grown from a curious observer into a skilled learner and contributor. Her journey was far from over, but she felt confident, capable, inspired. With a quiet smile, Mira looked at the children playing under the fading sunlight. She knew that her mission was not just about learning human methods. It was about understanding life, its connection, and the potential for cooperation between worlds. And she was determined to continue, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The sun rose over the colony, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Mira walked through the garden, feeling a sense of purpose and calm. She had spent many weeks learning, observing, and practicing human caregiving. She had faced challenges, skepticism, and complex situations, and she had grown stronger and wiser with every step. Today, she would demonstrate her mastery. Nico met her at the entrance to the training hall. "Good morning, Mira. Today we will review all your work and share it with the other caregivers and researchers. You will show what you have learned and how your contributions can improve human methods. Are you ready?" Myra nodded. "Yes, Nico. I want to share what I have learned so that both humans and my people can benefit." The training hall was filled with humans, aliens, and caregivers from other colonies. They had heard about Mira's progress and were eager to see her methods in action. Mira took a deep breath and stepped forward. Her first demonstration involved a group of holographic infants and toddlers. Each child had different reactions and needs. Some cried, some resisted, and some sought attention. Mira observed carefully, analyzing patterns and adjusting her approach. She spoke softly, supported the holographic children, encouraged them to interact with one another. Slowly, the holographic children began to calm and cooperate. Mira demonstrated feeding, soothing, and guiding techniques, showing how attention to emotional and physical needs improved outcomes. The audience watched closely, impressed by her precision, patience, and insight. After the simulation, Mira introduced improvements she had developed. She explained how breaking tasks into smaller steps, observing subtle reactions, and combining guidance with encouragement could help children learn faster and feel more confident. She also emphasized the importance of emotional support in creating a safe environment. Nico stepped forward. "Myra has not only mastered human methods, but has also improved them. Her alien perspective brought fresh insights, and her contributions will benefit both humans and other species." The audience applauded. Humans and aliens alike recognized Mira's dedication, skill, and understanding. Even Zyron, who had been skeptical earlier, nodded with respect. "Mira, your work is remarkable. You have shown that learning, observation, and adaptation can create real value. You are a bridge between species." Mira felt a quiet pride. She realized that her journey was not only about learning techniques, it was about understanding life, connection, and the potential for cooperation between species. She had grown from a curious observer into a skilled learner and contributor. After the demonstration, Myra spent the afternoon working with real human children in the garden. The toddlers laughed, played, and explored under her guidance. Mira applied the methods she had learned and refined, observing reactions and adjusting her approach. She encouraged small successes, praised efforts, and created an environment of trust and confidence. A human parent approached Mira. "I've noticed how much the children enjoy learning with you. They seem more confident and happy. Your methods are impressive." Mira smiled. "Thank you. I have learned from humans and added what I observed. My goal is to help children grow safely and confidently." The parent nodded. "You have done more than that. You have shown that understanding and cooperation can cross worlds. That is very special." As the day ended, Mira returned to her quarters. She reflected on her journey from arrival to mastery. She remembered the first days of observation, the challenges she faced, and the skepticism of other aliens. She remembered the simulations, the unexpected incidents, and the complex interactions with real children. Each step had taught her patience, empathy, observation, and adaptability. Mira thought about the lessons humans had taught her. Caregiving was more than technique, it was connection, understanding, and respect. Human methods combined physical skill with emotional awareness, creating an environment where children could grow confidently. Mira understood that these principles could benefit her people as well. That evening, Mira received a message from Nico. He asked her to join a special meeting with the colony leaders and senior researchers. Mira prepared carefully, knowing that this was an opportunity to share her insights on a larger scale. In the meeting, Mira presented her findings and improvements. She explained how human caregiving methods could be enhanced through observation, adaptation, and emotional support. She shared detailed notes, examples, and demonstrations. The audience listened intently, asking questions and taking notes. When Mira finished, Nico spoke. Mira has done something extraordinary. She has learned, adapted, and contributed insights that improve human methods. Her work demonstrates the potential for collaboration between species. Humans and aliens alike can benefit from her observations. The colony leaders nodded in agreement. One of them said, "Mira, your dedication and understanding are remarkable. You have shown that learning is not only about acquiring knowledge, but about applying it wisely and sharing it with others. You are a true ambassador for your people." Mira felt a warm sense of fulfillment. She realized that her mission had succeeded. She had learned, grown, and contributed. Her work had strengthened bonds between humans and aliens, improved caregiving, and demonstrated the value of curiosity, patience, and empathy. After the meeting, Mira spent time with Nico and the other caregivers. They shared stories, laughter, and observations. Mira realized that friendship and connection were as important as knowledge. Humans had taught her not only how to care for children, but also how to build trust and understanding across differences. Zyron approached Mira one last time. "I want to apologize for my earlier skepticism. You have proven that curiosity, dedication, and respect can overcome doubt. You have my respect and admiration." Mira bowed slightly. "Thank you, Zyron. I am grateful for your guidance and observation. Your feedback helped me improve." That night, Mira walked through the garden, watching the children play and the humans interact. She thought about the journey that had brought her here. From curiosity to learning, challenges, adaptation, mastery, and contribution. She had grown in ways she'd never imagined. Mira understood that knowledge alone was not enough. Understanding required empathy, patience, and the willingness to adapt. She had learned that the most valuable lessons were often those that connected heart and mind. Observation and action, curiosity and respect. As she looked at the stars, Mira felt a deep sense of purpose. Her mission was not only to learn human methods, but to share them with her people. She knew that the knowledge she had gained would improve caregiving on her planet, strengthen bonds between species, and inspire others to learn and cooperate. The next morning, Mira prepared to return to her spaceship. She had completed her training and demonstrated her mastery. Humans and aliens alike had recognized her contributions. She felt proud, confident, and grateful. Nico approached her with a smile. "Mira, you have achieved something remarkable. Your work will be remembered, and your insights will continue to benefit humans and aliens alike. You have shown that curiosity, dedication, and respect can create real change." Mira bowed slightly. "Thank you, Nico. I will carry these lessons back to my people. I will share not only the methods, but also the values behind them. Care, empathy, and observation are universal principles." As Mira boarded her spaceship, she looked back at the colony one last time. She saw humans and aliens working, learning, and interacting together. She knew that she had been part of something greater than herself. She had bridged worlds, strengthened understanding, contributed to the growth of knowledge and cooperation. The engines hummed, and the spaceship lifted off. Mira looked out at the colony below, feeling a sense of accomplishment. She had learned, adapted, contributed, and built connections. She had demonstrated the HFY spirit human methods had taught her values, and she had shared her own insights in return. As the spaceship traveled toward her home planet, Mira reflected on her journey. She had faced challenges, skepticism, and complex learning experiences. She had mastered human methods, improved them, and shared her knowledge. She had formed friendships, built trust, and understood the deeper principles of life and care. Mira knew that her journey was only the beginning. The knowledge she had gained would spread to her people, improving caregiving, education, and cooperation. Humans had taught her patience, empathy, observation, and adaptability. She had learned that understanding required not only knowledge, but heart and respect. As the stars passed by outside her window, Mira felt a quiet joy. She had completed her mission, but the lessons she had learned would continue to grow within her. She had proven that curiosity, dedication, and respect could overcome doubt, challenge, and complexity. She had shown that learning and cooperation could bridge worlds, and Mira knew that she would continue to learn, grow, and share. Carrying the HFI spirit of understanding, contribution, and hope across the stars, the journey was complete. But the impact of her learning would last for generations. Mira smiled, feeling the warmth of purpose and achievement. She had begun as a curious observer and now returned as a master, contributor, and ambassador. Her story was a testament to the power of curiosity, empathy, and cooperation. Human methods had taught her much, but Mira had given back as well. She had shown that learning and sharing knowledge could strengthen bonds,